evening,
gentlemen.
everybody.
Okay,
in unison. We were kind of in unison there.
Stereo,
Surround.
welcome to our beloved community of film banter viewers. Thank you. It's so good to have you here. We're going to be reviewing some various films. What a beautiful poster.
It is a really nice poster.
Very cool,
very
looking
colorful
poster. Yeah. At the cinema when I was there yesterday, on my my single solo, me the only member of the audience, but they do have a stand-up at the Palisades Theater, and it's really quite lovely. It's a beautiful poster.
And then when I went, it was just me and one other guy in the theater, so it was almost a solo screening.
Yeah, there you go.
Which is
you
nice.
should have smoked up a big one.
Oh, I know. I
Big
should those huge blunts.
I thought it was outrageous.
Yeah. It's nice that you're having a nice little clove.
I am having a little clove.
I do like the snow clove. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm not wearing this mask because of this cigarette. I'm actually in the midst of a small cold
He does have a rather congested...
And this man tends to get sick, very sick.
Very.
So I don't want him to get a cold because he'll have it for 6 weeks.
I am mentally ill, but I do not wish to be physically ill.
He'll never let me hear the end of it if I get him sick.
That's true.
So I don't want to get him sick. So
I appreciate
I am
that.
fighting. It's just congestion. Thank goodness, it's nothing terrible. But
yes.
This is for you, my friend.
I have a feeling in a week when we do our flashback show.
Yes.
You're still probably going to be sick. I
don't know. I mean, sometimes these colds take a while to go away. Because I'm not going to go to the doctor for a cold. You know.
No.
It'll take its course.
I'm surprised you go to the doctor all the time.
You always say that. I don't actually. I have an annual physical, and that's it. You know, I'll go to once in a while I'll go to.
You hear that? He has an anal physical.
It's true. No, I really don't. I don't know where you get this idea from. I was going to physical therapy for a while because I hurt my shoulder, but that's not an illness.
Yeah, you're always going for something, it seems. Every time I turn around,
that's not true at all. Totally not true.
It just seems like it's true.
I'm a very healthy person. I just get a cold every year, and I sometimes hurt myself.
All right, very well. Is there any other little thing you'd like to banter about before we get
I'd like to get into the beach bum.
Get right into the beach bum?
Yeah.
All right. I think he wants to get into his beach bum. Right into the bum of the beach.
So yes, folks, right now in theaters we have the Beach Bum starring Matthew McConaughey.
Why don't you start it out?
Yes, I would say this is the most Matthew McConaughey role we've seen probably since Dazed and Confused.
You think so?
Yeah, it's so Matthew. I mean, it's perfect for him. You can tell that this man had an absolute blast playing this character. I want to be the beach bum for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, me too.
I
could live my life as this guy.
That'd be pretty cool, but I honestly think it would get old after a while, at least for me. You need something.
Well, you know...
A little more structure,
okay.
But hey, for 6 months of the year, I can have a good time doing that.
Yeah. It looks like he actually has a microphone here, but he doesn't, of course.
Yeah, so the beach bum, the story of this film is basically just about this guy who loves to just hang out, get high.
I think you need to slow down a little because because of your mask, you're a little more
muffled. Am I too muffled?
A little muffled,
okay,
so just slow down your pace so people can hear you.
This is about a man who likes to hang out at the beach. He likes to get high. He likes to get drunk. He likes to party. He likes to have carnal relations with many different women. He's also a very established poet who's published many books about poetry, so he's kind of a celebrity. He's married to the beautiful Isla Fisher.
He is.
She comes from a lot of money, so he's basically living the lap of luxury. He goes out and does what he wants down in Key West. He goes home to Miami to the family once in a while. We don't know how often. But they love each other at the core, but they both seem to have their little separate sexual flings on the side.
Sexual flings on the side.
Hers,
she with
Mr. Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
I loved seeing Snoop in this movie.
I thought he was great in this film.
Good.
I thought he really...
I thought he was going to be playing...
He chose that name also. Lingerie.
I know, yeah. I thought he was going to be playing Snoop, but no, he's playing character.
No, he's playing Lingerie.
Because usually when he shows up in a movie, he's playing himself.
Well, true. But he's usually just a cameo. But
a lot of times,
This is a full-fledged...
This is a full-fledged part, and he's great. And then the film focuses on his young daughter who's getting married to kind of a boring guy.
Well, you didn't switch over, but we're talking Matthew McConaughey.
I'm saying Matthew McConaughey's character, his daughter's getting married.
Married in real life to Sacha Baron Cohen.
She's Mrs. Borat?
She is Mrs. Borat.
And then the film just kind of takes some turns I didn't expect. I don't want to give things away.
Yeah.
But let's just say the crux of the film depends upon him finishing his great American novel, which he's never really done. He's pretty much just published books about poetry, and he's getting some pressure from people in his life to do a book, a novel.
You can kind of give something
I don't want to give it away. I don't want to.
No?
No, why give it away? Because I didn't expect anything to happen.
Okay.
No, let's just say that he
Well, let's
he
just say
has
this.
to-
There's a pivotal person in the film who dies. So things kind of change a little bit. And I think that the pace of the film, unfortunately, changed a little. Here we have the real Jimmy Buffett.
Who's in the film?
Who's in the
He
film
plays
as
himself.
a bona fide
Yeah.
character. He plays Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah.
Here he looks like Richard Dreyfuss
A little bit. And
There's-
also in the film we have, you might have seen the picture, we have Zac Efron having kind of an extended cameo more than anything. We have Martin
Yeah.
Lawrence.
Yeah, I was shocked to see him.
Yeah, there he is right there.
There he is right
He plays
there.
a seaboat captain who
Right.
who likes to think that he's really good at people taking people out
Right,
to see
his
dolphins.
name in the bus is the success.
Success?
There's a very funny
He
moment.
was
where
funny. That was
I
great.
thought he was very
He was good.
And I was glad to see, I kept thinking, where's Martin Lawrence been all these years? He used to be a big Black
Yeah, took a
Knight,
break,
all those
yeah.
those little comedy movies, Mama's House. And
Yeah,
all
well
that.
now he's getting ready to film Bad Boys 3 with Will Smith.
Oh, so he is. So
But
he
here's the
is.
daughter
Yes.
that is getting married.
Very lovely young woman.
And so-
Ilsa, I think she's dynamite.
She
in this
looks
film.
great, and
Not only
she's
does she look
excellent
great,
in this
but
film.
She's excellent
She was
in the
good.
film. She was a great character.
Like I bought that they're married and that they
Yeah.
love each other. There's
She
a-
plays almost a female beach bum,
Kind
a
of like him.
wild, crazy,
Exactly, yeah.
sexual goddess,
Yeah.
and she's just nuts as him. You see the connection, you see the
Mm-hmm.
relationship. I thought it worked. About the
agree.
film itself, did I love this film? I did not. However, my first impression, I must be honest, was to kind of poo-poo this film, was to say that it wasn't any good.
Mm-hmm.
But you know something, you can do far worse out there than to see the Beach
Beach
Bum.
Bum, of course you can.
Is it a great movie? No,
No, but it's a fun movie.
There is a celebration of life
There
that
is.
kind of comes into this, and I did really enjoy that.
His character definitely.
Absolutely.
That's what it's about.
Well, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
That's what the ending
Yeah.
of the film, he kind of, because it gets a little preachy there.
Exactly.
And he just starts to say, hey, it's all about, here he is on his boat at the, I think he's on the Moondog.
Yeah, his character's name is Moondog. That's it. That's all we know. Yeah.
But there's just something about he's constantly leg spread here, but this is an all balls to the wall performance by Matthew.
It's
He's just
excellent.
a free spirit.
He was great.
It had to be a joy to play this.
I
kind of
agree,
role.
100%.
Just a kick, just to be crazy and nuts and wild.
And do whatever.
Do whatever.
I
you
guarantee
want.
there was a lot of improv on set for this movie.
I believe you're probably right.
Yeah.
I know that Snoop Dogg did get him. At the end, he's more towards the end of the film.
Yeah.
He's wearing
Women's clothing,
clothes.
yeah.
Suddenly, that's a thing.
His character's just like, whatever, it's cool, man. It's cool.
It is, and Matthew pulls it off.
He does.
There is no real. I remember telling you before we even were going to see this film that the things I was hearing about it, it really had no encompassed plot, so to speak. It was
It's a story, but there's no plot. Yeah.
Well, there's just a kind of a guideline of a story.
It almost seems like there's a lot of vignettes here and there.
True.
With moments that are spread out. Like we'll see things where the characters are in the present, but at the same time, there's visuals that are going on that are either a flashback or a flash forward to things that are happening.
True,
And we're still
sometimes,
getting
yeah.
dialogue of the present, overlapping these little almost montages of interesting things happening. But I really enjoyed the film. I mean, like
did
I said,
too.
I didn't love it
No,
either.
it's not a great film.
I thought it was a little long, even though I know it's not a long movie. There was a
91
couple
minutes long.
dragging
Yeah.
moments. But overall, I had a really good time watching it.
Yeah, it was.
I enjoyed Matthew.
Semi-entertaining, but
Yeah.
as I say, there are moments that you will laugh. There's no real great drama here. There's no great acting. It's just kind of a nice little time passer.
Yeah.
I remember sitting there. This was so strange for me to go through this, but I did. I went through a little cathartic moment of, I can't even describe why I said such a thing out loud, but maybe it's because there's nobody else in the theater. Look, my hands are just like Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah.
But as I sat there in the theater, I said, I feel like I'm in heaven right now. There was nobody else in the theater. It was just me. I was just sitting there watching this big screen for this film that was just, there was no tax upon my brain. Not that I do sometimes want some tax upon my brain. We know when we're going in to see Us.
Within reason,
Or some film that is of, more dramatic. Even
Of course.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of I'm squeaking a lot on this chair tonight.
It's all right.
But anyway, it was just enjoyable. It was just enjoyable enough
That's what it was, I agree.
to be entertained. And if that's, I can't say anything more about any film. You just want to be entertained. I was entertained. The characters all kind of came and went, and it's just this collage of horseshit and a lot of big blunt smoking. I love the driver of the plane.
The other
who is
pilot's got
90
glaucoma.
Yeah, he's got glaucoma.
He's like, I'm 98%
Takes his glasses
blind.
off. He's only
Yeah.
got 90% vision. It
That
was
blunt
hilarious.
was like this. It was
That
hilarious.
blunt, I think they just used that in multiple scenes.
It looked like a peace pipe.
It looked like literally,
It's huge.
It looked like some kind of a weapon almost.
Yeah.
It looked like a club that just, but it was immense.
It was very humorous.
It was quite humorous and it was fun. And,
Yeah,
I didn't
honestly-
even realize here we have our cameraman.
Yeah, I sometimes like throwing in behind the scenes shots.
Cool.
But yeah, it was
Cool.
a fun,
Yeah,
entertaining
Matthew's a
little movie.
kick. He's moondog everywhere he goes. Everyone knows him.
Yeah.
He's jumping in pools. He's having fun.
He is, and this was directed by Harmony Korine, who also directed Spring Breakers,
Oh,
and also was the writer, which surprised me. I didn't realize. Harmony, by the way, is a man. This
Oh, I
is a
didn't
guy
know that.
named Harmony. He also wrote Ken Park and Kids.
Wow.
Interesting.
Wow.
And he made this, and he also directed and wrote this movie called Gummo, which was a really
I've heard
weird
of
movie.
Gummo. I know
from the
Gummo.
mid-90s.
That was an MTV film, actually.
Maybe, but I know
Yeah.
it was kind of a controversial movie when it came out.
Yeah, I do recall it.
But he's an interesting
I
filmmaker.
think we can move on, but
Yeah, let's move on,
This
that's
is a
fine.
fun little flick.
You'll enjoy it. You can
can't
watch
go
it on
wrong.
HBO, have a good time.
Don't expect any plot though. There's no real plot. This is like a Robert Altman movie. It just has. There's just no strings attached. It's
Yeah.
just. It is what it is, and it's,
And in a way, that's kind of a
kind of
joy
fun.
once in a
Yeah,
while.
it is.
It's very watchable.
it's
Enjoy it.
very fun to
I
watch.
recommend it.
Yeah.
Now we're going to do a Netflix film. We're actually doing a couple Netflix films
Okay.
tonight. Actually, no, just one.
Yeah, just
this is
one.
The Highwaymen.
Yep.
This is a Netflix film with Woody Harrelson, Kevin Costner, and they play the two men that eventually captured the famous outlaws,
Captain
Bonnie
Frank Hamer
and-
of
Bonnie
the
and-
Texas Rangers.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is told from their point of view, whereas the 1967 Warren Beatty film followed Bonnie and Clyde. This follows these guys on their trail. They pretty much come out of retirement at the request of Kathy Bates, who plays the governor. And would you like a napkin, sir?
Sure, thanks.
And
I
so
would like to point out one thing very briefly.
yes,
At one particular point while I was watching The Beach Bum,
yes,
there was a very brief moment there where Moondog is in his house and he's kind of walking around and he's in a bit of a fog. And I just realized to myself the only other person who possibly could have played this role was none other than Woody Harrelson.
I agree.
He could have pulled that off in his sleep.
because they both live.
They're both living that kind of free,
yeah.
Snoop Doggy,
I agree.
smoking a blunt,
Yeah.
living life on in a very, and of course we just had Woody and Matthew were
Yeah.
connected via True Detective the first
Exactly.
season,
And they've
which
been friends for a
was
long time.
Wonderful, yeah, and you know that. And Woody has given up pot though; he doesn't smoke pot anymore.
He gave it up, huh?
He gave it up like 4 years ago.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so he and Willie Nelson used to get together.
Oh, yeah, they were good friends.
But let's get back into this film, The Highwaymen.
Yeah,
It is about the men on the other side.
Exactly.
Here's the real Bonnie and Clyde
Yes.
right here. They refer to her in the Faye Dunaway version that she's a blonde, but she was in fact a redhead.
Exactly, yes.
There's Clyde Barrow right
Yeah.
there. Not a bad-looking guy. Kevin Costner, he was made to play this role,
He
but
was
then
good.
again, every role he's in, he
yeah.
seems made to play it because
Yeah.
he takes command
He does.
in such a way that he's mesmerizing. He truly is.
And
Just
I
as
feel
an
he's
actor,
gotten better as he's gotten older.
I
as an
totally
actor.
agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree. I loved
Yes.
him in Superman.
Yeah,
Man of
I
Steel.
did too.
I
Yeah.
love him in that. But
He's
here
made some good films lately.
He just has this.
I enjoy
this
him now.
Power.
Yeah.
He is a powerful essence, just a powerful, charismatic
Yeah.
flow that is all mostly internal. He never acts with his face. He just acts with the way he talks and the way he presents himself.
Yeah.
And it's almost so intimidating, even as a. I imagine that being Kevin Costner's kids has to be a tough life. It'd be like being Judge Judy's kids, because he seems like a tough guy to be. I don't think he smiles
Big.
and has a lot of fun, but I could be totally
never
wrong.
know.
But anyway, in this film, I thought he was just absolutely.
I thought they
perfect.
were both very good. Honestly,
Yeah, I liked the film.
I really enjoyed this film from
I did
beginning
too.
to end.
Me too.
I didn't feel bored. I wasn't squirming at any point.
No, and it has slow moments.
It does, but
There-
it works.
There are. It really
and
does.
it keeps you engaged.
Absolutely 100%.
And
They're
I
the
like
real
this
guys.
perspective
There's
of
the
the
real
story.
Captain Frank right
Yeah,
over
right here,
That's
Hamer.
the guy.
Yeah.
I don't know where Holt is.
Yeah, I don't think
might-
he was. I
might
couldn't
be
find
him.
a picture of him,
Might be him. There they are.
but I
Bonnie and
enjoyed
Clyde are an
enjoyed it
interest-
quite a bit.
I forgive me. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying I just really
Go ahead,
enjoyed it.
finish
I
your
really, I liked the pursuit element.
Yeah.
I liked how they would get these moments where like, what are we gonna do now? And then they think he'll get a strike of genius. All right, let's try this, or I got an idea.
Yeah, no, they just
like detectives. I really enjoyed it.
Well, they truly are.
They are, yeah,
detectives,
yeah.
and they're just thinking. Well, they go here. They have a pattern that they do.
Yeah.
They go in the south, and they go up north, and they go to this place, that place, and they just kind of deter this through just
Yeah.
data, almost as human computers. They kind of just look at a map, and they kind of figure this is where they're going to go next, and they're
And I like how he keeps saying, you know what? They always come home, and they keep circling back to where his mother lives in Clyde's mother lives in a trailer park.
Right.
And
one thing I do want to point out, however,
There's
here's
the
the real
shot-up
car
car.
at the end. 1,500 rounds were shot into this. It looks like a lot less, actually.
Yeah.
Could have been on the other side.
exactly.
Though. But that was the side that was facing the gunman.
Yes.
Was the left side of the car. But one thing I was going to say is that there's a vital scene left out of this whole thing, and this absolutely happened because the photograph exists, and it's in the previous version of Bonnie and Clyde with Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway.
Yes.
When Captain Frank Hammer is actually captured by them, he's sneaking up on their car right during the Buck Barrow time when Buck and Blanche are with the gang.
Yes.
Clyde's brother and his wife, and they take a photograph with Frank Hamer.
Okay.
Where Bonnie takes a cigar and kisses him right on the mouth. They
Oh,
take
yeah,
that
yeah,
picture, and he spits in her face.
Yes,
and,
yes.
They left that completely out of here. They didn't even.
I guess they didn't
go
feel
there.
like it was necessary. I don't
It
know.
was necessary. It was part of the it's part of the.
I know, but for
history.
whatever reason, the filmmakers decided, you know what, we're not going to do that.
I don't know why they did such a
Maybe
thing.
because I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe it wouldn't have befit Kevin Costner's character to be, captured the way he was. He was actually kind of taken hostage in a way.
Yeah.
And then they put him in a boat and they sent him out after handcuffed being tied.
Yeah, I guess they felt for the way that his character is being portrayed in this film, that might have felt out of place. I can't really see Costner's character, the way he presented it, being in that scenario.
Yeah, but at the same time, I am not happy with the filmmakers for leaving that scene out because that happened.
I know.
And it is an actual moment that he had with Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
And therefore, here's the actual. Oh boy, they were buried. They'll bury them side by side.
Yeah.
But it's. And once again, I gotta say, forgive me. I don't mean to be talking the whole time. I want you to talk.
Thank you.
Times.
I appreciate
Eventually.
that. Thank you.
Eventually. But I did enjoy the fact that. What I was about to say was we did review Francis last week, and with Francis. I had the.
Which is a 1982 film with Jessica Lange.
Jessica Lange as Frances Farmer,
The famous
1930s
actress,
film actress who went quietly insane.
Yes.
But my point is that I had the inclination to once again learn about Frances, and once again I got back into the lore of Bonnie and Clyde and the real people.
Yes.
And
I agree. I love doing.
yeah.
I do this with
I love
every
doing back.
Yeah, every film that I
history
watch
of the actual history that they're portraying.
every film that I watch, I generally, especially if it's a historical film, I'll spend some time looking up some stuff online. Whether I go to Wikipedia or I'll watch something on YouTube, I always go to the film's trivia page on IMDb. I just always like knowing the little backstories, other little tidbits of information.
True.
It fleshes out the movie for me.
Well,
and I really
true,
enjoy
but
that.
not always are you guided there. Sometimes you'll see a historical thing.
Yeah, of
like,
course.
Of course, we don't have any data. We don't have any actual footage of William Wallace when he was Braveheart, etc. But you can go into history books and read more about the real guy.
Yes.
But Bonnie and Clyde, there's footage of them. There's actual photographs of them, and so it is kind of cool to go back into your Google and just Google them.
It's great. It's a lot of fun. It's interesting. You learn something.
Absolutely.
And I've always been fascinated with this time period. I
Me
love
too.
Prohibition era
The 30s,
films.
yeah.
I love the 30s. I love the 20s. I love that whole period. That's
Me
why I
too.
love Boardwalk Empire so much.
Absolutely.
I love stuff that was just at the beginning of the 20th century. It's fascinating. I love the wardrobe back then.
Yeah.
It's just a simpler time. A very violent time.
It wasn't
very
so much of a simpler
well,
time.
life was
there.
kind of simpler. I mean,
Well, not
obviously,
really.
yes, it
People
was.
were just coming out of the major depression. People were killing themselves.
Well, the
all
30s
over the
depression
place.
was happening.
Well, it
started
happened in
29. 29,
but still, the repercussions of the 30s were people getting back on their feet. But we also had Prohibition, where booze
Of
was
course.
suddenly not legal. We had all kinds of underground bootleggers.
Which was so crazy. And that caused the boom of organized crime. If it wasn't for Prohibition, that might have not been as acute as it was.
That's what I mean. It wasn't really a simpler time.
No, but life in the planet was simpler. We didn't have everything we have now.
Well, yeah, but
you didn't have air conditioning. Not everybody had a car. You didn't have TV. I don't think we had radio per se.
I'm just saying,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, natural.
I mean, I'm saying life was simpler.
We're going to say people were simpler 40 years ago than they are today. Oh, just think, those people had to look at their phones. Now you'll have a computer built right into your hand palm.
Yeah, you'll have a chip in your head.
Yeah, you'll have a chip on your shoulder too.
Exactly.
As I often do. But anyway, getting back to this.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
This is a great little piece of work.
It's very well done.
I love Kevin. I loved Woody.
Yeah.
They're both human. There's a human feel to this film right down the line.
Yeah.
You don't feel like you're being bullshit or bullshitted or whatever.
And I read early on that Woody's been attached to this film for a long time. He's one of the producers.
Oh, okay.
But originally it was going to be him with Liam Neeson, and then eventually Liam left the project. And,
oh, really?
And I think that Kevin's might be a little better fit.
I think Kevin.
Yeah, he's a good fit.
Yeah, I like Kevin.
And but like I said, I really enjoyed it. I recommend checking it out on Netflix. Like I've said many times in previous episodes, I'm finding that the original films that Netflix has been producing lately have been getting better. The past, let's say,
year.
Yeah, the past year. They're definitely getting better.
We've definitely seen some improvements. Kathy Bates, boy, I just saw her in another.
Well, we're going to cover her again tonight.
Yeah.
Because she's in the, later on, we're going to be covering On the Basis of Sex.
On the Basis of Sex.
She's in that as well.
Bader Ginsburg.
That was a smaller role, but she's in that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I recommend Highwaymen. Dow recommends it. Let's move on.
No, it's wonderful.
It's a very good film.
It really is, too.
Really enjoyed it. Now we're going to do a film that is... it's all over all the streaming platforms. It's playing in limited release, actually, in a couple theaters.
Okay.
Dragged Across Concrete.
Yep.
Starring Mel Gibson, Vince Vaughn, Michael Jai White. We have Don Johnson in a brief role. Mm-hmm. And this is a storyline we've kind of seen in similar ways before. Two cops are under fire for having a little bit...
crossing the line.
Crossing the line of,
when it comes to...
being a little too aggressive with a culprit, you know?
Correct.
They basically get in trouble because somebody was filming across from another apartment when they were being a little rough with somebody they were trying to get information out of. So
they were doing a wait.
It was a raid. It was like a sting almost.
Well, it was kind of a sting, but they were waiting outside. They were waiting for the guy. Stakeout.
Yeah.
They were doing that. Here we have.
He's their captain.
Here we have
Don Johnson.
Don Johnson, of course.
Yes.
Who was just in this man's last film. Director's name is.
Yes, I was going to get to that. This is directed S. Craig Zoller.
Wonderful.
Who not only has used a bunch of the same actors in his films. Their last two films were A Brawl in Subblock 99 with Vince Vaughn as well.
Yep.
And Jennifer Carpenter, who's also in this film, although in a much smaller role.
Correct.
And then he also did before that the wonderful Western Bone Tomahawk with Kurt Russell.
Just a brutal piece of work. Oh my God.
All his films have at least a moment or two of extreme brutality. And this is basically these cops get in trouble.
I think he's a great director.
I think he's very good. And he writes his own films too.
Yeah, he does.
He's the writer-director.
No, he's wonderful. It's a beautiful looking film. This film is 2 hours and 38
long. All his films are
long.
Yeah.
Well, Bone Tomahawk's like 2 hours and 10. I don't think that wasn't 2.5.
It was close.
And
Cell Block might have been over 2 as well.
I think it was right around 2.
Could be.
I think it was. But I'll tell you, this film is 2 hours and 38 minutes long. I could have gone for another 2 hours and 38 minutes of this film. I didn't want it to end.
I know.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I love Mel Gibson in this.
Let me just finish the premise. We never got to that.
Okay.
So the two cops are caught on camera being a little abusive with this guy. So they're basically relieved of duty without pay. And so, to kind of make ends meet, Mel Gibson has a wife at home who's got some health problems.
Multiple sclerosis.
His wife.
Muscular dystrophy.
MD, yeah. His wife is played by Laurie Holden.
Yep.
And then so they basically decide that they're going to get into, it's more him convincing Vince Vaughn to join him in becoming a criminal. They're going to rob some bank robbers, basically. Correct. And so then the film follows these group of people that are going to be robbing a bank. And then they get involved.
Well, Mel Gibson gets a tip about
he
a
specific
specific
guy. He gets a tip from Udo Kier, who we just saw.
Yeah, he gets a tip from a specific guy that he goes to.
Yes.
Who is that guy?
The actor's name is Udo Kier.
Oh, Udo Kier.
That's what I just said. Udo Kier. Yeah.
Udo Kier. It's
a German
Udo
actor.
Kier, actually, yeah. He was in Flesh for Frankenstein, the old Andy Warhol.
He's been in a lot of stuff. I just saw a couple weeks ago.
He's probably been in, I'm going to say, over 200, maybe almost 300 films.
Yeah, probably.
I'll bet he's way up there.
Yeah.
But this black man right here, the two guys that play, they're a separate film unto their own. Almost.
Yeah, it's him and Michael Jai White. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's great.
I just loved it. But this is really the story of these two cops.
Yeah.
Mel obviously is in his 60s, and here's Vince, a younger guy. Just his life is much simpler. He just wants to marry his girlfriend, and who's kind of a bossy little girl, and Mel just wants to take care of his family. His daughter is being harassed every time she comes home from school.
They live in a bad area.
Live in a bad area of town. So kids are really bothering their daughter all the time. She's getting orange soda thrown in her face. So Mel needs a way out.
Yeah,
He's got to get the family out of this town and just get everybody in a safe place. So hence the whole thing begins.
Yeah.
And we just follow these two guys around. But the key to this film is, I mean, there's as we begin to follow around this group, once we get into the people that they've been told to, you're going to follow this guy. He's the guy that something fishy's going on with this guy. They do discover, hey, there is something going on here. Possibly a bank robbery or something is going to take place, and we just kind of get into this whole. There's such tension in this film. Just while they're chasing after these guys, I literally felt.
Oh, that was a great scene.
That was more awesome. Towards even like we're almost like an hour and a half into this film. I felt the tension just watching this film, and I felt absolutely. And there was nothing happening on screen. It was just conversation between Mel and Vince. And I do like the fact that Mel is always, well, it's a 50% chance, 75%.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
90% chance of this. And he goes, well, what's your percentage on that? Oh, 75%.
He goes, what's it 45%?
60-40.
He's like, I don't know.
Well, who's gonna live out of this, me or you? And he goes, me, 60-40. Why? Experience? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's cool.
And it is kind of cool.
It's got a clever script.
It does.
I just felt that there are moments where some of the lines don't feel true to life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some of the lines, I thought just the way some of the characters spoke, some of the things they said, didn't feel like, okay, I don't think that would really be said in that manner.
Okay.
However, it's still very cleverly written. And it's well written, so I'm not going to criticize it.
It's well written, it's well acted, it's well shot.
It's a good movie.
It's a great movie.
I've been wanting to see this film for a while.
I loved it, I have to say.
And I really recommend it.
It's not a 4-star film, but 3.5.
3.5.
It's definitely worth watching.
I'm a really big fan of this director. Craig Dollar's made 3 solid films.
I love Brawlin', so...
Me too. A lot of people don't like that movie. I enjoyed it.
I know. We've actually on Facebook, there's a whole...
We have.
There's a whole... column devoted to people that don't like that movie and voiced, this movie was nothing.
See, I think a lot of it is that a lot of people can't stomach Vince Vaughn as a serious actor.
Is true,
I don't know. For me,
after the Wedding Crashers and the stuff that he's done, but
I don't know. I like him. I think he's good.
And he was in the second season of True Detective.
And I thought he did a good job.
I thought he did a good job, but
he did what he could.
The script sucked.
It wasn't
that wasn't his fault.
It wasn't his
Colin
fault.
Farrell and Rachel McAdams.
Yeah.
But still,
like I've said before, if that second season of True Detective had not followed such an astounding first season,
with Matthew and
it
Woody
wouldn't
Harrelson.
have gotten as panned as it did. If it was a standalone show,
true,
L.A. Cops, people would be like, "This is kind of good." But after that,
But I did lose interest in it. I gotta say, it
wasn't as captivating. I
don't
agree.
feel as victimized by the previous season, as what you're saying. Maybe the average guy
I'm just thinking a lot of people did feel that way.
Well, maybe they did, but no, I just felt that the second season just didn't plain out work.
Yeah.
We haven't really ever discussed the third season so much.
And we've been meaning to get to it.
We've been meaning to get to it. We will get to it.
Maybe we'll do a show all 3 episodes.
I think it's a great season.
I agree.
It's a great season.
Yeah.
But
back to Concrete.
Yeah.
Check it out. It's on the streaming platforms.
It's violent.
Google Play, YouTube,
it
Amazon.
Doesn't hold any punches.
Yeah.
I think
it's good.
It goes for the throat and.
There was a scene that I didn't see coming. There's a violent thing that happens I didn't expect.
Whereabouts?
Well, let's just say there's a scene where there are certain characters that have to go digging for something that they need. And I didn't see that coming.
Well, that's been in a couple of the Saw films.
No, but I'm saying I didn't see it coming in this film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I did. I did.
I didn't expect that to happen.
Oh, as soon as he swallowed that key, I knew that.
Well, let's not give anything away. But.
Well, it's not a big deal, but.
No, but it's a nice surprise.
Yeah. Okay. But I like the whole bank heist thing.
Yeah.
I like that they were menacing to me.
They were.
They just kind of stood there and they talked through these robotic, you know, like I have lung cancer.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, everybody, but the main guy, he was a frightening guy.
Yeah, he was.
I thought it was very well acted, right down the line. There was tension. It was a good. The ending was interesting.
I liked it. It was a satisfying film.
All the way.
To me, all the way.
Absolutely.
I really
100%.
recommend it. So
great
check
stuff.
out.
Mel is dynamite in this film.
He's great. Honestly,
he's really good.
I haven't stopped being a fan of Mel. He's still doing good work.
I agree. I love
I'm
the old
excited to see what
Payback.
happens.
I love the Payback
agree.
film back in the old day.
Yeah.
They kind of look like Michael Mann films, but they weren't. They were.
No.
I forgot who directed the.
I think that was Jonathan Hensley or something.
Something like that. Udo Kier.
Udo Kier, it is.
Man doesn't really speak much English, but
No.
he always manages to show up here. He's a German man by trade. I'm sure he speaks pretty good English these days.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But it's a Vince Vaughn, Mel Gibson buddy movie,
it is,
and it felt real to me. I didn't find any dialogue to be really discernible to me. I felt it all worked. This was a shocker.
Yeah.
This character.
Yeah.
I kind of loved the way that all interplayed, and I really did.
Yeah, it was
I
good.
really
Unexpected.
liked
I
it.
always liked her ever since Dexter. For
Sure,
me,
Dexter. she's,
Exorcism of Emily Rose. She's
absolutely.
astounding in that film.
Yep.
But yeah, so let's move on, I guess, to the next little film.
Okay.
We both loved this movie.
We did.
Now we're going to do a film.
This is it. Oh, we'll do a Vigilante.
And then we have that. Yeah, A Vigilante is it's a film with Olivia Wilde. It's playing actually in very, very limited release, but again, it's online for you to watch on the street.
There's only one other guy in the audience when I saw it today.
I know, yeah.
I saw it this afternoon. There's only one other person here.
Yeah.
And it was you.
It was me.
Yeah, I know.
We watched it here.
We watched it right on this screen.
Yeah, it's right on Amazon. You can watch it on Amazon.
On demand right now. You can see it on your
Yeah.
whatever Optimum or
whatever
Verizon,
provider you
whatever
have,
cable
or on
you've
your
got.
phone. You know.
She's a woman done wrong, obviously. Her husband's not a nice guy.
Not at all.
She then goes into this mode where she's going into rehab kind of groups, help groups for women who have been attacked and so forth. And then she kind of takes it onto herself to be here's your talk group, and she takes it onto herself to be a vigilante, to solve the problems of the people who are lesser strong than she is.
Yeah.
She doesn't look too strong in this picture right here, but...
and she's not a killer, but she'll get violent with people and beat them up, you know. You know, for one of them is a woman who's getting battered by her husband, so she'll beat the hell out of the husband and say, listen, you're going to get out of here. You're not going to ever touch her again. You're going to leave her all your money. And if I see you back here again, I'm going to kill you.
Right.
And I want to kill you. But she doesn't. She's got her own little set of rules. And she's kind of like, I don't want to say she's like the equalizer, but I mean, people can find her if they know how to find her, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
And then she shows up and she wears disguises and different haircuts and different wigs. And,
she does.
But she's got a lot of her own problems, a lot of issues that she's dealing with her
Well,
husband.
her ex-husband, she lost her son.
We learned that she lost her son. That's not really a spoiler.
It is a bit of a spoiler, but it's not so much of a spoiler. We see her gazing longingly at a photograph of a young boy and so forth. But this film was a little disappointing for me. I got to say, it was a little too one-dimensional. It never really went below this tension. And except when we went into the rehab group and we went.
That was good. It was actually, I think, the last 35 minutes or so where the film really kicked in for me.
Yeah.
Once we got to that scene where she has this emotional moment, breakdown at her support group.
Right.
And then from there we go to the final 30 minutes of the movie, where there's actually something happening really.
There isn't a lot happening.
There isn't a lot.
There's only a couple scenes where she actually goes in and she threatens some people. She does show up at a bar alone. You almost think that she's there to attract people, just to mess with them.
Yeah, exactly.
She knows that they're going to kind of hit on her.
Yeah.
And there was some dialogue there about the 40%.
I still don't know if it was clear.
I don't know what the hell that was about.
I think overall this is it's a good performance. I think she does a good job.
I think we did not see the full director's cut on this. I felt like there was a lot of stuff.
You think
cut
there's
out.
something cut out? Yeah, well maybe.
I'll tell you, at the very beginning of the film, when she goes up to that man in the house, and she threatens him, that, you know, I know what you've been doing to your wife. I know what you've been doing to your kids.
Yeah.
Once your wife is going to leave here.
Yeah.
And she's threatening this man. Well, we see him get bopped by her once or twice, but at the end of that scene, when he's signing the contract and signing the house away, he's covered in blood. Covered in blood.
Yeah.
We don't see any of that.
Well, there are a few moments in the film that I felt were abruptly cut.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah, the editing.
The ending too, with the.
Well, yeah, there's the ending. Yeah, all of a sudden we see a character's what happened.
You know. Stevie
So-
Wonder at the editing room again.
I gotta say, I can't really recommend this movie.
I can't
It's a
either.
good performance in a film that really needs a lot of work. I think they
Yeah.
could have done another
And
rewrite.
it's too bad. I love Olivia Wilde.
She's excellent in this film.
always fantastic.
You know, and
Uh,
she's trying to do something different here.
Right.
And I just feel like she deserves a better movie.
You know, it's a hard choice to make, and I kind of respect the filmmakers for taking they went the chick flick way out. They turned it into a rehab group. They turned it
Yeah.
into a meeting group for battered women.
Yeah.
Basically, they could have gone Atomic Blonde on this. And
But
made
we've
this an
seen that
all-
before.
Yeah, but I don't care.
And then we
Those
saw
films,
Peppermint last
for me,
year.
those films are great.
They are. I
love
agree.
Peppermint.
But again, do we want to see that again and again and
Okay.
again? You know.
Starring Olivia Wilde? Okay. I'll
Yeah.
take Olivia's take on that.
Well-
and it would be different because she's now going after husbands. She's not
Yeah.
just going after, like in Peppermint, she's avenging
I know.
the death of her husband and kid. And in Atomic Blonde, she's just a spy out to...
I know. Yeah.
Other spies are getting her.
But we've
this is a
seen-
different take.
But
And
we've seen that in the last Spider, the Dragon Tattoo. She was going after. She was hurting men that hurt women in that movie. In the latest of this the Elizabeth Salander story.
the Claire Foy version.
Yeah, yeah, that's the first scene we see her. She was doing that to somebody. She has this guy strung up, and if you don't do this, you're gonna get killed.
All
and-
she's missing is the propeller.
I know she is.
Yeah.
Like they could have made this movie. Keep what we have here with the support group, but just make this more of an action film. Give us more scenarios where she's kicking ass.
True.
Amp it up a little bit, and you could have not lost the little meat that she's given in those scenes with the support group. But we get more action to keep you more engaged, more
Yeah,
interested.
the pacing of this film is off.
It was really odd. It was
really
like
was.
for a
That
while
was
I
the
was almost
bad part.
like just okay, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, right. And it was
You know?
almost at that point I just didn't even care anymore
I know.
so much. If we had interspersed more with some more action,
Yeah.
and not necessarily action, so to speak, but intimidation by her
Yeah.
up against
Just
these
things
bad
happening.
guys,
Yeah.
I think it would have been a better film. Unfortunately, it goes too far into the depths of some of these women, just kind of talking a lot. So how are you doing today? And you're gonna feel better tomorrow. I mean, slow paced. It just didn't seem to. It never really kicked into high gear, and
It
when
did.
it did kick into high gear, it was like too late.
Yeah,
It
too little
just,
too late.
it was just a little.
It's a shame. It's a kind of a wasted opportunity.
Because I love this woman. I think she can do no wrong.
I think she's excellent.
I just love her. Look
Yeah,
at her
I do
here. She's punching her fist. She's just
A
putting
dresser.
gloves
That's a good
into
dresser.
a dresser just to
Yeah.
harden up her fist.
Yeah.
Great scene when she's raped, tried to be raped, an attempted rape on her in
Oh,
a
yeah.
bar scenario, and it's a great scene.
No,
but,
she took out two guys. That was good.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
Yeah.
this could have been a Jack Reacher film.
Could have been.
For a woman, so to speak. Not so much in the spy.
No, but I know what you mean.
But you know what I mean. I mean, and it should have gone there. I think that's where it wanted to go. But the female filmmakers wanted to give us both. They
Yeah.
wanted the best of both worlds, and therefore they gave us neither of either.
Yeah, so it was a taste of what could have been, you know?
True.
So we're going to move on. There's not much more to say.
I know the show's going so quick today.
Yeah.
We're only 15 minutes into the show now.
No, we're not. We're more than that.
Not much.
No, we're like...
25 minutes.
That's fine. We wanted to do shorter shows anyway.
All right.
This is for you, shorter show. Now we're
I
going
don't
to
know,
do...
Do you really want a shorter show?
They do.
Don't you want
because
more of me?
everybody complains
The hell
about
with
an
him.
hour-long
Don't you want
show.
more of me.
No, no,
more
no,
of
no.
me.
No.
Okay, so here we go.
On the Basis of Sex is
There
the
it
story
is.
of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the
It
Supreme
is.
Court Justice, and her roots as an advocate for women's rights back in the 60s, played by the wonderful Felicity Jones.
There's the real.
Here's the
Ruth.
real Ruth Bader
I
Ginsburg
like her,
today.
her sun god. This looks like
Yeah.
a Mayan sun god.
It does,
necklace
yeah.
She's wearing.
Well, she's a fan of Apocalypto, I think.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, right.
Here's her with Obama.
Here she is with Obama. These scenes are not in the film.
No, well, I'm just giving you some pictures
Yeah,
of her.
well, people know Ruth Bader. I don't think we have to
They do.
describe her. There's a wonderful thing. They've been showing it on CNN for the last few months now. The actual biography.
Here's that new douche guy.
There he is, that new douche
What's his
guy.
name?
His name is Schlitz Kavanaugh.
Yeah, Kavanaugh.
Yeah, Mr.
But,
Kavanaugh.
but yeah,
How
so
lovely she is.
Yeah,
What a
lovely.
young
So
woman.
this is just her story of fighting this one landmark case that actually was
Correct.
a.
It made her.
It made her.
It made
and it
her.
was actually about a discrimination case against a man that he couldn't be a caregiver for his ailing mother.
Correct.
And so she
The government would not allow him
to claim
to claim
the deductions on
the
his taxes.
benefit that
Yeah.
needed by him because he was but it was claimed for women but as a man, he
Yeah.
couldn't do it. So
They couldn't
kind of a
comprehend.
reverse.
They couldn't comprehend at the
Right.
time that a man would be a caregiver at home.
Right.
That's a woman's role.
Exactly.
And so she was fighting for that.
So it was on the basis of sex, basically,
Pretty much.
which is almost a misleading title. I think it. I think the
Well,
whole,
they even mention that in
they
the
do
film.
in
How
the
they
film,
keep saying you
which
should
I
say
like.
gender, not
You
sex.
say gender,
you know?
not sex. Let's get into this
Yeah.
film.
Armie
I
Hammer
thought-
plays her
I
husband.
thought Armie was great.
He was great, honestly.
I thought the daughter was
They
fantastic.
were all excellent.
Everybody was
Justin
great.
Thoreau,
Movie caught
Sam
me
Rockwell.
totally off
Me
guard.
too. I loved it.
I loved
I
it
love
too.
this movie.
I cried at the end.
I didn't cry, but I really enjoyed
did.
this film.
I got very emotional when
It's
when
an
the
awesome
landmark
movie.
case comes to fruition, and you really see this woman just
Yeah.
become Ruth Bader
Yeah.
Ginsburg. She comes from a scared little girl, and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
because of the truth.
Yeah.
And the
Here's
truth
Kathy
meaning
Bates.
so much to her. Here's Kathy Bates, just stepping from set to set
Yeah.
in Hollywood. Oh, we've got a role for you, Kathy. Kathy, over here. Kathy, here's the script. Read it. And come on stage. Well, could you come on the set
Yeah.
with us?
We need you
And
to play
Kathy
a
goes,
strong-
Oh, sure. I'm an old woman. Yeah. What do you
We
want
need
me
you to
do?
play a strong, opinionated woman. Got it.
Got it. Here she comes.
And she plays a very
Yeah.
prominent lawyer at the time.
She does indeed.
Yeah. But I thought Felicity was great.
Felicity
Arnie
was
was
wonderful.
great.
Armie was
I loved him
spectacular.
in this movie.
I did too. He was laid back.
Yeah.
For once, we don't
Yeah.
normally see Armie laid
He's great.
back. You know, he's either on top of little Timothy
Chalamet.
Salome, and
I just saw him
say
in
my name, say my
Hotel
name.
Hotel Mumbai. I just
Oh.
saw him in.
How was
Yeah.
he in that?
Good. He's always. I think he's always
He
good.
is good.
He's
He
he's
is
he's
good.
really getting in my. I feel like he's getting better. I like him a lot.
You know, well, his first film, I think, well, not his first film, but The Lone Ranger, of course, was, you know.
I didn't see that, yeah.
Oh, you never saw The Lone Ranger?
I don't want to.
Johnny Depp.
I didn't want to see it.
Oh, you should have seen
Yeah.
it. It's a fun film.
He came into prominence
There's
in The
some
Social
comedy.
Network.
Oh, that's true. He
Yeah.
played the twins.
He played twins, and he was great in that.
He was great.
Yeah.
Here's Justin Thoreau right
Justin
here.
Thoreau.
You know something? This movie. Let's talk about the marketing campaign of this film right off the bat. Because the marketing campaign. Look how beautiful she is. And
Yeah.
she almost looks like Felicity a little
bit.
bit. A little bit more ethnic.
And
but-
this is the director, Mimi Leader,
Okay.
who directed Deep Impact. She's directed
Oh.
a lot of TV,
Oh, really?
and she did that movie, The Peacemaker, with Nicole Kidman and George Clooney
Oh,
from
I remember that
'97.
film. That's an old.
That wasn't a great film.
You know, I thought Felicity might have been a little miscast. I mean, she has the. I don't think she's ethnic enough. You
Yeah.
know, I think if we could get maybe a young Sarah Jessica Parker, might have been a bit
could have been interesting.
more of an interesting casting.
Or a young
point
Linda
there.
Hunt. Just kidding.
Linda Hunt, come on. She's only 3'2" to
I know.
begin with. What's she gonna do?
I didn't realize though how tiny Felicity. She's a tiny girl.
She's 5'2" or something.
She's not that big. Yeah, she's
not that
tiny.
big.
But
I'll
you
tell
can take her home
something.
in your pocket.
Yeah, but I did start to say this, and I do want to finish that the marketing campaign of this film made this look like a cheesy,
It
almost
wasn't a great campaign.
very commercially
You're right.
driven biopic
Yeah.
about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was very popular at the time just
Yes.
because she had just broken her ribs, for God's sakes, and she was recovering in the hospital thing, and of course Schlitz Kavanaugh was
Yeah.
coming into the world as
And then we had
being-
the documentary that came out about her at the same time.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
she was very hot in the news,
Yeah.
and I think they were trying to capitalize off that rather than to really give the crux of this story, which is really a very beautifully metamorphosis of a young woman
Yeah.
who really believes what she says and does her best to change the law.
Yeah.
And the only way to really change a law is to focus on that law.
Yes.
And she does such that, and she brings it to the attention. And not only does she change the law, she changes the minds. Of stodgy old men
Yeah.
who have been running this constitution-driven country
Yeah.
that we live in, and she just takes it to another level. And I thought it was moving.
Yeah,
and
it was. It was very- I
really
love those
loved
scenes.
this film.
I love the court scenes at the end. I mean, I always love court movies
Well, that
anyway.
court scene was the best.
That was great.
And we
She's
knew-
at the appeal at court.
We knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Look how beautiful she
She's
is
great.
right here.
But you know what? Probably
She almost looks a little like the Khaleesi from.
She does.
A little
Amelia
bit
Clarke,
of
yes.
Amelia when she's
I was
got her
thinking
dark
that
hair.
too.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes in the film is when they're doing the mock trial at their apartment.
Oh, that was
And
great.
they have Thoreau
Yeah.
and a couple other people come to play the judges. And they
Correct.
have a dinner party.
Yeah.
And they're trying to plead the cases and they're
There's
trying
a
to.
black woman. There's.
And then there's an old guy.
There's
and
Justin Thoreau, and is there an old?
An old
yeah,
lawyer, yeah.
The old lawyer.
He's one of their professors.
Loved it.
Loved it. And they're trying to fine tune how they're going to handle the court proceedings because her and her husband are both going to be trying the case.
Right.
And so they're both going to specialize in different elements of the argument. And I love that scene. It was great.
Yeah, yeah. I just love their whole communication, their whole chemistry together.
Yeah,
It was
I agree.
great. The daughter plays a very,
She was very good.
strong part.
I agree.
I thought just her presence in the film, just the way she, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, like, this is my daughter.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, taxi, get over here.
Yeah.
And this kid is like amazing.
Yeah.
She's like a new woman. And I just love that. I love the metamorphosis of the female in society. Let's face it, we have the Me Too movement today. We have women all over Congress now.
Yeah.
I love it. I just love it that women are taking a big role.
Well, they should.
And as they should.
The boys' club is a little too much.
Boys Club is a little too cigar smoke driven, and these guys are.
I love that a lot of these old assholes are all like scared now. Oh my God.
Yeah. No, I love it too.
And not just in Congress in general. Just
Yeah.
get out of here.
It's very sad
Get all
to
these
hear.
old idiots out of here.
I know. Now Trump, of course, he's just waiting for Ruth Bader to kick the bucket so he can.
She's got to hold on a couple years.
Yeah, so he can put in some other
right-wing idiot.
Trump following bag of slime
Manure.
that's going to back him, and they're just going to start to erase everything in our lives that we need, the things that we take for granted are being taken away from us by corporate jerks
I agree.
like Donald Trump and his whole slew of cronies that just want nothing more than to destroy our lives as we know it.
They just want everything to be good for the rich corporate people that run these corporations. That's all they care about.
Yeah.
Is making rich corporate executives continually rich.
Correct.
And securing their spaces as the puppeteers of everything else, and the rest of us
Great
are all
America,
just
great again.
bullshit.
Yeah, for about 2% of the country, those 2%, America's being great again for. So I like the fact that we have a lot of people, and I know you don't feel this way, but I don't believe that Mr. Trump has a snowball's chance.
Well, I'm not saying he's going to win. I'm saying he has a good chance to win again.
You know why?
Unless they have somebody that can really defeat him, a star.
He barely won. Now we're talking, and now we're politics banter here. But he barely won when he really was a wild card.
I know.
He was a wild card then. Nobody really knew what a schmuck he was. Now we know the kind of guy he is. He closed down the government for 32 days, gave 800,000 people no money for all that time. Government people.
I know.
Destroyed them. Kids in cages.
I know, but
every
the problem
5
is
minutes he's doing something.
But the problem is this:
take away our Medicare.
The nation's memory is very short.
Oh, you're so wrong.
They're going to forget about all that stuff.
They're not going to.
Well,
now
it's the Democrats' job to remind them.
Now we have well, that's where the Democrats.
And Colbert has to have his board out there every night, fighting the good fight.
Yeah, here's a bad guy right here.
Sam Waterston is always good at playing these kind of guys.
Well, usually he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's usually
he was kind of this kind of a douchey guy also in Miss Sloan with the wonderful Jessica Chastain.
Oh, I love that. Where's Jessica been?
Well, she's got a movie coming out. She's got a bunch of things coming out.
Well,
she's still working.
She better be, but I know she's just got married and she's probably making babies or whatever.
Well, she's probably been busy in the sheets, Take a break. Well, for a while, for like 5 years, the woman didn't have a day off. Probably.
Listen, I got sheets over here, baby.
Yeah.
Anytime you're ready, we'd have beautiful children.
I know.
Just come on.
So let's move on.
Let's move on. Well, we're done.
Yeah, so we're going to cover what's coming out next week. Actually, a lot of stuff's coming out in theaters this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have, as we've been seeing ads for Shazam.
Word on the street is that this is really great.
I heard it's fun.
He really encapsulates that young,
I agree.
optimistic, the same review they basically gave to Brie Larson for Captain
Marvel.
They really just said to her she brings a new vitality.
Yes.
And he seems to almost do the same. This isn't going to fly.
No, I just paused it for a second.
Oh, cool.
You got to have it at least 30 minutes for it to really make a problem.
Oh, okay.
Well, Pet Sematary went by so quick. We have also The Best of Enemies.
Looks interesting.
Which looks good. I'd probably go see that.
I'll see anything with Sam.
Sam and Taraji together. It's a no-brainer.
I agree. Taraji, though...
High Life I was telling you about.
Taraji seems to be making TV movies that hit the theaters.
A little bit.
She did that one film where she was almost like a vigilante kind of a thing. Not
Proud Mary.
No, not Proud Mary. She was a hitman in that film.
Yeah.
There was another movie she made though, and it was about a cheating husband.
Acrimony.
Yeah. Was it Acrimony?
Acrimony.
I think there was.
Was that Tyler Perry's Acrimony?
I was.
Yeah.
I saw that film.
Yeah.
I actually didn't mind it.
This is the one I was telling you about. public.
Okay.
It'll come around again. But yeah, so we have Shazam.
I like that. Just say the word.
Yeah, it looks cool.
It does look cool.
So this is kind of like
Looks kinda
big. It's
fun.
kind of like big in a
Right.
way.
Kind of.
Then we
Then
have,
we
like
have
I said,
that-
Pet Cemetery,
We
which
also
looks
have
good.
that film called Little.
That's
which
coming out
is the
soon.
one with the little girl,
Yeah.
which is the opposite of big. Instead of going into
Yeah,
a big
yeah,
person,
yeah. I don't wanna
she
see
goes
that.
into a. Well, I heard she's good. And she's
be.
also that little girl is an executive producer of the film.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
she's kind of playing herself.
That's cool.
She's playing an adult. She's been homeschooled for years. I saw
This is
her.
what I'm saying about High Life.
Show the other
Robert
one.
Pattinson,
There we go.
Juliette Binoche. It's a sci-fi movie. It takes place on a ship, and it's Robert Pattinson, this little girl.
Ship in space.
In space, yeah, in
Okay.
space. It's be cool. This is supposed to be good. Teen Spirit, Elle Fanning.
I like it.
She's a singer, apparently, in this movie.
Ah, La La Land.
And this was
okay.
directed by Max Minghella, the late Anthony Minghella's son.
Oh, really?
Yeah, remember the director of The English Patient, his son now.
Oh, okay.
And this is the public. Look at the cast in this movie.
Oh,
I'll
wow.
tell you about it.
Oh, there we go.
We have Alec Baldwin, Emilio Estevez. We have here Michael K. Williams. We have here Jeffrey Wright.
Mm-hmm.
We have Christian Slater.
All right.
So it's a good cast.
Yeah, it
Gabrielle
looks
Union,
interesting, yeah.
Jenna Malone. It looks interesting. And, I think it's based on a true story.
Okay.
They,
We do have a new movie out with Chloe Sevigny.
Chloe Sevigny.
Yeah, what?
You're talking about the one with Juliette, with the one with Isabelle Huppert? Isabelle Huppert? The one where Greta? That was out a few weeks ago.
No, that's already been out.
That's
no,
already
there's a
gone.
brand new film coming out, and it looked really cool. I just saw the preview for it today.
Oh, you did?
Geez, I can't think of the name of it right off the
I
bat.
actually missed all the trailers today.
Did you?
For the first time in a long time.
Good for you.
I know, so I had to race to get to the theater in
but,
time.
I did see a few trailers the other day.
But,
for Minnesota Beach Bum.
yeah, so that's us. We'll be back next week.
Next week we're not really officially back in a sense.
We're
of
doing
new
a
films.
flashback show.
We are doing a flashback film, and should I be honest with the people?
No, let's not. Let's let them be surprised.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So next
fine.
week we'll see you with a really fun theme flashback show.
There you go. Oh, it's going to be so much fun.
That'll be cool.
We're going to look and sound pretty much just like we do right here.
Probably.
Yeah. Chris will still be wearing his
Yeah.
mask, oddly enough.
All right, fine. We'll tell you.
We'll tell
We're
you.
filming both episodes tonight because I'm going to be away on business next
He's
week.
doing something next week.
And I'll
When
be
he
away
says
all
on
week.
business, don't worry. That's not really he's not really away on business. He's just got some gig that he
No,
can
but it's
make
a
a few
business
bucks.
trip.
He can make a few bucks.
It's
so
a
let him-
business trip
let him
out of
make a few
town.
bucks. Oh, okay.
It's still a business
I know,
trip.
but that sounds like something my dad would have said.
I'm a business guy, right?
Yeah, he's a businessman.
He's a business
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. I'm just out filming
So
people.
we'll see you next week.
Drinking and smoking and doing
Yes.
weed at some corporate event.
Exactly.
All right, cool. So,
All right.
Now we're on to film our next.
We'll be
our
back in a
next,
few minutes.
Flashback. So we'll be back in a week.
In a week.
You will not see this.
Wink,
for,
wink.
A week after this.
Adios.
There you go.
Chloe, where are you?
Road. Yeah, where we going now? Yeah, Mr. Slim.